Hi everyone. Hope everybody's doing good day. Good today. Okay. So, um, just waiting for some other people to come in. What are we doing here? New. Okay. Hi Philly. Okay, so I'm just waiting on a few things there. Dum-dum-dum. This might be a short night tonight, so what am I looking for? Dum-dum-dum. 702. Okay. I hope everybody's doing good. I already asked that, didn't I? Yes, Nancy, it was a very nice day today. It's supposed to get nice and warmer. It's just nature just lulling us into the sense of, uh, what do you call that? Uh, Lull, so that they can come back and smash us again. Just it always seems to. May always seems to have one last storm. Always seems to have that. Okay. Well, instead of me babbling away, let's get into the readings. Okay. So, um, Dorothy, really lousy last name. Thordarson. Thordarson. Oh yeah. Let mini read. Okay, so the first thing I'm kind of seeing here is we have the death card here. The death card is all about brand new beginnings, and it's right beside a card that kind of says, exploring the world or perhaps seeking new opportunities. Um, so these two cards to me, feeling that over the next year you're going to be into a situation where um, you're just going to be starting new things, or you're going to see new things pop up for you. And it's more about you saying, perhaps I'm a little bored where I am, and perhaps I want to change a few things. And that doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be like, you know, changing jobs or whatnot, but it means there's a change coming up when it comes to employment and your own happiness. We also have over here the Queen of Wands, which means use your feminine logic to deal with situations, but at the same time use the male logic to curb the emotional side of your female logic. So there's kind of this whole thing here where it's just a whole shifting for you. We also have the Justice card at the end here, which usually means legal matters or power of attorney, but I don't have enough cards here to see what it actually means. But these cards are really showing me that there's change coming, and for the better. Whether you see it that way or not will depend on how you're perceptive of it. But you know what? Yeah, everything's coming to you, and I think it's going to be a real nice change for you. You know, just I actually see you like taking car keys and smiling as you walk towards a car, and just, I don't know why I feel just like a sense of freedom. Anyway, that's all I have for you. So the next one. So Jennifer Lambert. Somebody's having a birthday. Anyway, so yeah. Okay. So the first I'm kind of seeing over this side is the joining of two of the heart. And the joining of two of the heart usually means that it's kind of vague, but it really has to do with the love side of you. So the joining of two is, you know, deciding on doing something for the two of you, perhaps doing some renovations, or, you know, if you don't have anybody, this could mean that you're going to meet somebody, but it's the joining of two for a project, which is very satisfying. It will kind of make you very happy in that kind of sense. You're getting things done. You're getting, you know, your emotions are being fulfilled so that you're happy. And beside it is the Temperance card, which means there's a need for you to have some patience along this way as well. So I'd see like, I'm seeing kind of like yeah, they're showing me like a river that's kind of walking by you, and I see like the emotions, and I see, you know, the money, and I'm just seeing them kind of circling around your feet. Sorry, you're standing in the water. And instead of just rolling by you without you seeing them, they just kind of, you know, hit your legs, and they just actually kind of bundle right beside you. So it's like a time for you to you know, look at things. And usually, you know, Bernard's very good at saying things like, you know, I shall put it at your feet. And the reason that my guide says it is because you will always look at your feet if something either hits it or you trip over something. So a lot of good stuff coming to you, a little bit of patience required. It's certainly a lot of moving forward as well. So a little excitement. There's a little bit of negativity in there as well, as you know, there's sense of either dread or thinking of shall we or shouldn't we. But I think that the dread is more about excitement, you know, about am I doing the right thing kind of thing. So perhaps you're a very person who likes to think a lot or doesn't like moving forward without support. But yeah, so I see a lot of good things coming for you. So that was for Jennifer Lambert. Hi, Stephanie Somers. I'm good, Suzanne. Okay, Julia Pauline. Julie. I'm sorry. The letters are small, so sometimes I get everything kind of mixed up. Nancy broke to. Say it again. I'm banning you. Just kidding. Get the end of the year here where anybody mentions the word snow is kind of like gasping. We want to get rid of it, not more. Okay, so when I look at the job here, you know, for the next week or so, I'm seeing that the moving forward with the Knight of Wands, which is you know, having success what you want. Then you have the Knight of Swords, which means some tribulation there as well. So I think there's a lot of decision to be made about this. And certainly, you know, maybe you feel like there's perhaps competitors or people kind of, you know, in your way thinking perhaps they're kind of attacking you or trying to not want you to move forward. But, you know, the one in the middle is the Justice, which basically says it has to be very logical, that there has to be definite answers, there has to be definite places. And there really isn't any room in there for the emotional side. But like I said, the Knight of Wands is very good, meaning have success, moving forward, and enjoying life from it. And the Chariot is, yeah, I picked my role in my life, and that's where I'm going to go. So stay in line with what you feel. Anyway, that's what I got for you. That's for okay, so Suzanne, can never say your last name. Culver Lushgalia. I think I read you the other night, but anyway. Don't have my list with me. Okay, so the first card that comes up in the middle is the Devil card. And again, the devil is people trying to cause some havoc around you, or if you have a relationship or not. I call it the mother-in-law card because it's an outside influence that's causing the two of you to argue. A lot of people say, hey, this is, people cheating and whatnot. And no, it's not what the card means. It's the devil within us, and basically, just having arguments and having to step back and realizing, hey, this is an argument about us. It's somebody else that's caused the argument. Or somebody's not supporting you, and you get upset with that. Typically that's why I call it the mother-in-law card. Like the mother-in-law kind of emotionally attacks the wife, and the husband's not sticking up for her type of thing. That kind of situation. We have also on this side the patience card, but also a celebration card, whether it's for retirement or if it's for coming to an end in one position and moving to another position. But it's kind of like time to celebrate that kind of a movement for you. So it's kind of saying, yeah, there might be a change in the job here, but also, let's solve these issues with people that might be around you that's causing you some headaches. And once you do that, you'll be able to move forward and have the patience you need to deal with things in life. I just feel you wake up every morning with some stress in your head. Anyways, that's for Suzanne Culver. Let's move down here. Hi, Rael. So, Chris, Lamoche. Okay, so okay, so the first thing I'm feeling is either a major decision or something that you'll have to focus on one of your parents. This is not a negative thing as in somebody passing away or whatnot. This is more about you deciding whether they need more attention or where they are or whatnot. People get older, so sometimes they just need some help. But again, it's a decision of whether how much help or are you able to help them. Perhaps people are putting you as the sole helper and you're getting frustrated with that. But it's just saying over the next year there's going to be that kind of change in focus with your parents. We also have, though, on the other side, we have the King of Pentacles, which is success with money, and the Judgment card basically saying it's time for you to sit down and decide whether you are successful or not. Success is really deemed in the fact of, have we done something in the past that is you don't like or you feel really ashamed of? but also realizing that you've never done it before. And once you realize that, then you know that it's actually a success because it was a lesson. So if you haven't done it again, then it's a success, not a failure, um, or something to be ashamed of. So yeah, all this is kind of a change, and I know the parents might be thinking about that, but um, so kind of like thinking about people around you on the left side and thinking about money on the other side, and right in the middle is um, the card for you to re-heal yourself with nature. So sit out in the front porch or whatever you have, or in the yard, whatever, and just sit there by yourself and listen to the birds. Listen to nature as it talks to you. Anyway, so that's all I have for you. So that was for Krissa. Um, okay, Nicola Reed. Okay. Okay. So all these cards I'm seeing here are kind of fairly good cards. We have the Queen of Wands right in the middle. So the Queen of Wands is all about having success at work or what you're doing, but it also is the Queen of Witches. In the spirit world, witches means people who are healers. So this card is indicating to me that you're a very strong healer. Whether you're doing it or not, I'm not quite sure. But it's saying that if you wish to do it, then you would have a lot of abilities to do it, and people would like you, or respect you for doing it. However, in everything I tell people in spirituality is healing is not necessary. We don't have a purpose to say we must heal people. We must do spiritual work. That's a falsehood. We are on our own path. We do what we want to do. As long as we finish our lessons that they say we have to, then you're good to go. You don't need to heal somebody to be successful in spirituality. To me, having success in spirituality, it's all about finding comfort, finding contentment. And if you find that, you're pretty good to go. The King of Pentacles on this side having success with money. And we also have here, perhaps over the next little while, contemplating traveling or putting money aside for travel. And then on the other side, we have a major decision about money. So there's that kind of thing where you're going to go in this phase with money where you're going to have more than you think you do. And you're going to sit there and think, okay, well, if I have much, maybe I can do something with it. But it's also kind of a message to me to saying, make sure you keep some and don't spend it all. Especially if somebody's asking you for money, and just don't do it. Keep it for yourself. Anyway, so that's all I have for you. Okay. Laurie Dawson. So for everybody who's watching, Lori is a very good friend of mine. So if she insults me, then it's normal. I'll try not to insult her. Anyway, known each other for almost 20 years now. Okay, so Ronnie. So I don't know why I'm seeing this, but I'm seeing a gentleman who's just kind of sitting at a table, and he raises a drink to you and say, "Hey, I'm back." It's really kind of a message from him, like saying that, relax, tell people he's okay. He says, he knows you're going through a rough time, and but all's good. He says things are going to be good for you. Yeah, there's a black cat that just walked in front. Um, um, no, he's kind of shows himself, stand beside you, and kind of punch you in the shoulder or whatnot. And but he says, take care of your health. He says there's a couple things you're diminishing yourself on. The other things you should be enhancing yourself on. But other than that, he says he just feels a good vibe from you, and he knows what you're going to be doing in the future, and he says it's going to be pretty good. But he can't tell you. He says get some new shoes. Well, no, he says, he heard you say goodbye. He's on the other side now, and he's having a lot of fun. Especially, he says one great thing he can do now is he can go and he can haunt people. Yeah, so he's having fun with that. Anyway, so that's all I have for you. Hope that makes sense. He also shows you holding a baby, so I'm not sure if that's a grandchild or something else that's coming along here, but anyway. Because he just winked at me when he did that. Okay, so yeah, Cup of Joe. I am streaming to 2 sites right now, to Facebook and YouTube. So I'm like seeing 2 lists here, and so whenever I get pulled over to YouTube, unfortunately, there's not too many people there, so. I'm so sad to hear that, Jill. Okay, so Jill. fours stick. Okay, so the first thing I'm kind of getting, and this is that this is a grandmother to you. Um, and the first thing I'm getting from her is that um, they're fully aware of what's happening with your daughter. And to let you know, there's about 10 spirits that have come around her to help her and help her with her energy and that. It's kind of like I see your daughter sitting there and there's like 10 of them in a circle around them and they're just kind of passing energy towards her so she can overcome this and have the energy to move forward and realize that it's not the end. I do see a male's hands around her shoulders, but I'm also seeing the grandmother holding her hand. So your daughter might be feeling some energy in her palms and on her shoulders. The feeling I get though is that, and what I've told to tell you is this not the end for her. I have the death card that's sitting here, and the death card is brand new beginnings. And then I have the other card that says moving away from this stuff. So yeah, in my own personal experience, I've had people who've had stage 4 cancer and have survived perfectly well. It just depends on how far into the treatment you want to go. All I can say is that that's what they have to tell you. I'll leave it at that because I don't want to get too much into medical stuff. Okay. That was a jump. Where to go? Where are we here? Dum dum dum. You're welcome, Laurie. You can use our pool anytime. Just make sure that we're not at home when you actually go to use it and insult us when we get home. Um, um, okay, Roy, like I mentioned, this will be a short one tonight, so I'm going to leave it there. again, hopefully we'll see you next Wednesday, or perhaps I'll have something before then. I'm contemplating a different types of reads, or perhaps a donation style reads. But so take care, everyone, and hopefully again we'll see you next week.